สวัสดีครับ My name is Kit from Bangkok Lawyer. I am a Thai lawyer. So what I would like to talk with you guys today is about can the foreigners who are locked up in Immigration Detention Center apply for the bail? This is very interesting question, right? As a criminal defense lawyer here in Thailand, I have been asked by a lot of foreigners or the family members of the person who their family is locked up in the IDC. Oh, can we apply for the bail? How long it's gonna take for the bail decision to come out? That is the most common question that I got asked several times. Okay, when your loved one or your family member is sent to the Immigration Detention Center or IDC, why the immigration sending them to the IDC? The first reason is very simple, because they are overstaying their visa. If you're not overstaying visa, nobody can touch you, right? If you still have the valid visa, so you can still living your life, having a happy life here in Thailand, right? But one day your visa is running out, your visa is finished, but you still keep living here. That means you breaking Thai immigration law. So once you breaking the law, the immigration officer or the police, they have of course, they have a legal right to check on your passport. If they found out that your visa is already finished, then you're gonna have to be charged and prosecuted in the court for the overstaying visa. If you get arrested, okay? This is very different. If you are arrested for the overstaying, you will be charged and prosecuted. However, in some case, if you overstaying and then you leave Thailand on your own without getting arrested, let's say you are overstaying like 2 or 3 days, and then you walk to the airport, and then you submit your passport to the officer, and the officer say, oh, you always staying, sir, you're gonna have to pay the fine, and then you can leave Thailand. That is different from being arrested and you living on your own. That is totally different, right? So once you get arrested for overstaying and you already pleading guilty in the court, of course the next station is that you're gonna have to be sent to the IDC for processing and deportation back to your own country. If you're coming from China, you will be deported back to China. If you're coming from India, you will be deported back to India. If you're coming from US, you're gonna be deported back to United States. All right, that's the how the law is, how the immigration law running here. Okay, so what about if your loved one is locked up for the overstaying? Are there any chance to apply for the bail? Of course, even they are locked up in the IDC for overstaying. If you want to apply for the bail, of course you have the legal right to apply for the bail, but you're not gonna get the chance, because your bail application gonna be dismissed. Why? Of course, even though the law doesn't prevent you from applying for the bail in the case of overstaying, but if you submit the bail application, they're gonna throw it away because you already overstay. There is no reason for you to stay in Thailand anymore. So the only way that you're gonna be leaving Thailand is you're gonna have to be deported back to your own country. That's the first case scenario. What about the foreigners who are committing a crime here in Thailand? Do they have a chance to get to apply for the bail at the IDC? Of course, if you are the foreigner and then you committing a crime in Thailand, and then you still have a ongoing court. Let's say you get bail out from the court, but you still have to coming and attend the court for the witness testimony hearing in the next 2-3 months. And then after you bail out from the court, the police coming and escort you to put you in the IDC. Your lawyer can apply for the bail application at the IDC as well. So that means if you are the foreigner and you already you have a court ongoing court, then you're gonna have to ask your lawyer to apply for the bail at the Immigration Detention Center as well. Not only apply the bail at the court, because usually the court will, if it's not a serious offense, the Thai court will usually grant the bail for the foreigner as well, And then after that, if your visa is already finished, so that means you have no legal right to stay here in Thailand anymore. You're gonna have to be escorted to the IDC. You're gonna have to be detained. And then when the court date is coming, you're gonna have to be, transport to attend the court. And I say, your lawyer or your loved ones can apply for the bail application, when you are locked up waiting for the court hearing as well. And if you ask me how long, it's gonna take 3 months minimum. In some case it could be 5 months as well. So it's not the quickest way, to get the bail decision from the immigration officer. It takes some time. I bail out one of my client who still got the ongoing court in Thailand, because he was sentenced in jail for 1 year, and then I bail him out from the court, and then he was sent to the IDC because he already overstayed, right? And then I submit a bail application on his behalf to get him out from the IDC, and then I'm waiting 3 or 4 months, and then the bail was approved, and then he got out on bail. But he gonna have to report himself every 2 times or 3 times per month, at the IDC. That's the way, What about the person who's seeking a refugee status in Thailand? If they get arrested and then they send to the IDC, do they have the right to apply for the bail? Of course, the person who is seeking a refugee with the UN or with another country, and then they coming to Thailand first, and then they arrested for overstay or whatever. Of course, they have a legal right to apply for the bail as well. All right, guys. Hopefully, you guys can get some knowledge about how to get how to apply for the bail at the Immigration Detention Center. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.